Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda, and this is Kevin.
Hi there.
And we are really happy today to have with us Sveta Butko
Welcome,
Good
Sveta.
evening.
from Israel. And she received a director's award for during our portraits exhibition with a stunning portrait called Alona. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And I think it's actually in the images we're going to look at, so we get to see it again. So Kevin.
I'm going to read Sveta's bio. So here we go. My name is Sveta Butko, and I'm a self-taught professional child and family photographer based in Israel. In late 2016, I gave up my career as an architect and got carried away with photography. My education for a PhD degree in visual arts, architecture, and working as an architect for a few years gave me invaluable knowledge and experience that is accompanying me in my photography career. Soon my images started to grab the attention of photographers around the world, and photography schools invited me to give lectures and workshops. Since then, my professional photography career has begun. Now my works are published both in local and international press, shown on book covers of the best-selling artists, exhibited at local and international fairs, featured in Vogue Italia, Canon Russia, and Lens magazine. I've been invited to judge international photo contests and held more than 60 local and international workshops and lectures. My students win international photo awards. I organized a charitable photo forum and participated in charity photography projects for raising awareness about special needs and diseases. I believe that photography has an amazing power and ability to change the world. The expression of tender, deep, innocent feelings can give people relief and hope. I believe that too. That's a wonderful sentiment. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, would you like to read your artist statement for us?
Yes, I called my project Old Masters. It is inspired by symbolism and atmosphere that I found in the portraits by great painters from the past. Their color palette, their feelings of light and expressions, and all those even imperfections like flaked paint and dust, everything inspires me. I try to express the connection between past and present, between nostalgia and today's feelings, between my subject and me. It is about identity, but not only my subjects, but also my own. This is photography that is also a fine art, photography that is also a painting, reality that is also a fantasy.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to do now is I'm going to screen share your images. Wow, they're just really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I'll tell you what, let me go through a few more images real quick so people will have a point of reference here. Go back to the start. That's the image
That's the one
that won the
the
director's
director's
award.
award.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see these, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. There is in most of your images a wistfulness in the expressions of your subjects. No one is smiling. This appears to be intentional. They remind me of kids that have something they want to say but are holding back. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, I have a lot to say about this. When we smile, the only expression that someone can see is joy or happiness. But when we don't smile, there is a place for such a wide range of emotions, of expressions. They are much deeper and complicated, I think. I love to catch exactly these emotions. Um, I think childhood is not only a joy, even if we remember it this way. Kids can face very complicated and very difficult emotions and feelings, and they don't even sometimes know how to explain them, how to express them with language. And photography's language is silent. We operate with symbols, with connections between objects, and with feelings that we read in the eyes if we talk about portraiture. So what is even more interesting, and that these emotions even cannot be seen by our eyes, because our eyes can see 24 frames per second, but we don't photograph portraiture in such speed, in 1/24th. We photograph in 1/200 or even faster. So these emotions that our camera can capture, we cannot even see by our eyes. I also love to use symbols, as you see in this picture. I use an apple as a symbol. Fruits and flowers are very deep symbols, as you know, from history of art, and they can express a lot of additional emotions. They can add some more meanings to the image. So I love to use symbols.
Well, so much of what makes good portraiture is the attitude of the subject in the critiquing of or trying to understand the meaning or story behind historical portraits. Much is made of the angle of the head, the placement of the hands, the condition of the lips, smiling or pursed, and on and on. How much direction do you give your subjects? And you can change these images as you please.
Yes, the pose and the expression of the face, of the lips, of the arms, the position of the arms. One can call this physical expression, and you can learn this in artists' schools. But what makes the good portraiture is the expression of the eyes. This no one can how to say it, can um, mm, I forgot the word.
That's
Doesn't
okay.
matter.
That's okay.
So it's pure. It's uh, it can be caught only if you have some deep connection between you and your subject. You cannot catch these such expressions just uh, in case, just accidentally. So um, it's a lot of connection between you and your subject. That's why I love to observe sometimes, photograph and observe, and wait for this connection to come. And then I feel that now I photograph the beautiful portrait, the portrait from the like big masters made. And
Right.
without this, it's impossible. You can use um, the poses that you can be inspired by them from the art. You can put arms in a specific way. You can use the direction of the view. You can use a lot of things, but as I said, it's physical emotions. It's physical things that. But we are looking for more for deeper emotions.
Wonderful. Well, can you show us a few more images there?
Yes. Closed eyes also give us a lot of space for thinking, um, for imagination.
Beautiful.
Symbols, once again, symbols. I love to use symbols. I believe that as I said, that the language of photography is silent, and it uses symbols and connections, not only physical, but deeper emotional connections between objects if you have more than one object in the frame. Once again, the symbols. So as I said, such expressions, sometimes I feel that the expression is coming and I need to capture, but most of the times I don't see it by my eye. So it happens often that I open the images in my computer, and then I see some emotion that I didn't see by my eyes. That's because our camera can capture faster than our eyes, and these emotions are gone very fast.
So how do you find your models?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Sometimes moms write to me and ask me to photograph their kids. Sometimes I just uh, find in Instagram or in Facebook somewhere that someone posted, or from friends. Sometimes they send me that they think that my friend's daughter can be yes, can be a model at your workshop or something like this, and
Right.
then invite them for the first time, and we try to produce some connection, to find our connections, and to understand if we can work together. And then I invite them once again, or I invite them for my artistic projects. So not all the images were taken on at workshops. But at workshops, I also try to find these seconds, these minutes of these connections that produce at the end such a portraiture with such deep feelings.
One last question. Looking at your website, I saw that you were schooled in Moscow. Russia has a very deep, amazing history of art and literature. How has your education and your work and training as an architect influenced your photography?
Yes, sure. I can say that all of my basic knowledge about art came from architecture, came from my studies. Because that time, I can say how it now, but that time the education in Russia was very, very thorough, and we to be a good architect, you need to learn history of art, painting, drawing, lighting, composition, 3D modeling, perspective. I don't know what else, and Photoshop editing as well. So I only needed to add some knowledge about camera settings, about technical features like focal length and so on. And then you can start to photograph with all this knowledge. And yes, uh, um, one can say that there is much deeper education in literature, in all kind of arts, in literature, in the history of art, because what we had to do, we had to find and to understand, and to I love to say, to to make a surgery to those symbols that you find in literature, in painting. So we had to write essay about the symbols. So you find these symbols, and this helps me very much in my photography to work with. I believe that even very small thing can change a lot in photography, because as I said, this is a language of photography, is symbols, is pose, is angle. So
So art history has played an important part in your photography practice.
yes.
And I would imagine you're making subtle references to classical architecture or classical painting or what have you in your work. Is that Would that be a fair statement?
Sometimes I photograph, I make an image, I start editing, and then I find out that it reminds me something from
Right.
like the birth of Venus. So I started editing, and I find out that it reminds me a lot about Botticelli's painting. So sometimes when you I don't know how to translate to English. In Russia, we call it something like something like you saw a lot. Someone who saw a lot. I don't know how to translate. So if you saw a lot, then you can operate with the symbols with much wider range of symbols and other things like technical things like coloristic, like mm, poses and so on.
It's about observation, right? Is that kind of what you're trying to say? Where you're observing and then taking it in and being able to
When you're
use it.
observing a lot,
Yeah.
yes, you get the experience of seeing that is very important in photography. You have to be experienced in seeing things.
Are you familiar with the word visceral? It's
Hmm?
kind of, are you familiar with the word visceral?
Excuse me.
Visceral is it's where it's coming, it's kind of something that's coming from your guts. It's coming from it's part of your being in a way. It's coming from a deep
Yes,
place.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
You can say that observing is part of the of being photographer. Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, excuse me. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the work?
Um, no, I think it's said enough.
I don't think there can be enough said.
For now.
Yeah, they're
Yes, I
stunning.
have a lot to say, but
Really,
about inspiration that you can be inspired not only from old masters as I was inspired for this project. I also take a lot of inspiration from cinematography. So in good movie, you can find a lot of symbols. You can learn angles. You can learn coloristic. You can learn a lot of styling. Uh, a lot of things you can take to your photography from good movies.
right.
They,
Well, the
and
other
this,
thing we haven't really talked about, you light these all really wonderfully. You're good at lighting.
thank you. Yes, light is the main thing in photography. You know,
Right.
it's a painting with light
That's
photography.
right. That's right.
Wow.
It is very important, yes. Sometimes I work with light, but it's not so often. Sometimes I work with light in post-processing, but most of the time I love to capture good images on my camera, not to make a lot of changes. But yes, I sometimes I make them. I try to get the image more, to give the image more antique view, antique look. So yes, sometimes I edit, but most of editing is about color corrections and
Well, Sveta, thank you so much for doing this, and thank you for supporting the gallery and entering.
thank you.
So I guess we're going to say
An
goodbye.
I
honor,
guess so.
an honor for me. Pleasure and honor, I told you.
Well, it's an
Thank
honor to
you.
have you here.
Thank you very much.
All right. You take
Okay.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you very much. Bye bye.